All right, it is day 10 for our learning Japanese using AI, this time more so as a tool rather than a guide. And we are on a new camera setup right now. That's why we're not streaming. We're just going to test out this new camera. I think it looks better overall right now so far, but hopefully it just doesn't die midway. We'll see. But that's why we're testing it rather than doing it on stream, I guess. Not that it matters that much anyways, but I prefer to have things more or less controlled when I do stream. So let's just test it out first. Okay, let's go ahead and get started right away. We're going to do some kanji stuff. Oh my gosh. All right, day 10. And something I realized that I kind of didn't really fully understand before until the last lesson was the whole onyomi and kunyomi stuff. So let's go to the kanji tab real quick on ChatGPT. And this was what I learned yesterday, or like refreshed. This is something I noticed in the past, but never really fully grasped it until yesterday. So kunyomi and onyomi, the patterns are that onyomi is usually for kanji that are like compound kanji, for instance, like two kanji characters together, two or more. And then the kunyomi usually is for like one, it's alone or with other hiragana characters like kiku and taberu. So those are two things that I also talked to or asked my native source about recently. I simply asked like, oh, is it good to learn those readings, the onyomi and kunyomi? And she said that, at first, if you're sort of like still a beginner, it's fine not to pay too much attention to onyomi and kunyomi. You sort of just learn the basic foundational kanji first. And then once you do that, you start once you get maybe closer to intermediate level, that's when you might want to start paying more attention to onyomi and kunyomi. Because I asked her like, okay, let's say you have a combination of kanji characters you've never seen before. Basically, she said she can guess it based on all the onyomi readings. But, it's still a guess because there are different onyomis for each character. There's more than one sometimes. So it would be a guess reading, but they could do that. And for me, I never thought of it that way. So like, for instance, like tomodachi or literally any combination, doga, eiga, and so on. Like if I saw each character individually, each kanji character individually, like brought together, I would have no clue how to read it because I just don't know the onyomi whatsoever. So it's something I definitely feel like will be a good idea to learn later on. For the time being, I'm okay with just learning the onyomi like based on knowing compound kanji, like for instance right here, kaisha. So we have the first one, which is kai, and then the next one, which is sha. So I know the onyomi readings based on the fact that I know that compound kanji. So that's something to note. And yeah, it's definitely something that I feel is very important while learning kanji that I just completely neglected. So I wanted to mention it first. And also a couple of things that I also got an update about from previous lessons, like questions I had. Number one, the particles, the joshi. So ni and ni versus that's something that we asked ChatGPT about the other day, and we did some particle tests and whatnot, and we learned that ChatGPT really sucks at helping you with particles. And for a lot of them, I put ni instead of and it said I was wrong. But I asked my native source, and she said that they hardly use in conversation. So it sounds like very polite sometimes. Like for some reason, sounds way more polite. So like in casual conversation, you'll hardly ever use Basically, ni is used most of the time. So the phrase for that is anmari tsukawanai. So meaning not really used. So for particles, that's something to note. Pretty important if you want to have conversations, and especially casual conversations with friends and stuff in Japanese. Is just barely used. So my answer of ni is incorrect. The correct particle is blah 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 is just not true. completely not true. So ChatGPT is just completely wrong there. But that was just one of them. And then another one that we wanted to talk about was something we also tried to learn yesterday, which was from grammar. It's ka. And the reason why I couldn't recognize it, doka, that's the one that I was primarily trying to look at, which means like whether you know something or not, like wakaru ka wakaranai. It's like, I don't know whether I understand it. But it's wakaru ka douka wakaranai. That's how this grammar point is, but my native source has also told me that kadoka, like the full version of it, is amari tsukawanai. So we barely use it, or native speakers barely use it in conversation with each other. So they instead just shorten it to just ka, like just ka. So for this example, it says, kare ga kiru ka douka wakaranai. Instead, it would be kare ga kiru ka wakaranai. So you just drop the douka and just have ka. And that's why for me, I couldn't recognize it. I was like, this one feels like it might be the one that I want to understand better, but it's not. I'm not fully sure. And that's the reason why, because it had douka in it as well. So that's another thing, that stuff that you can't really learn from ChatGPT, I don't think, unless you like ask it specifically, having the knowledge already. Like the only way I could ask is, is this, let me see if ChatGPT can do it for me. What are the ways to use kadoka in conversation? Yeah, it just gives me a full explanation. Unless I'm like always gonna prompt ChatGPT. Let's see if it can give us a casual version. Is there a casual way to use it? Oh, right here. But this one still says kadoka. Kare ga kuru kadoka shiranai. And this is the same thing. There's still douka in it. So yeah, this one doesn't tell you that the shortened version is just ka by itself. Like so far, I didn't see that at all. Is there a more casual way to use it? It doesn't seem to tell you that douka is omitted at any point. So that is something I don't think you can learn. Oh, right here. Finally, dropping douka in very casual speech. In more casual or spoken Japanese, especially among friends, sometimes the douka part is dropped and people just use ka to indicate uncertainty. それが本物かどうか, and then casual. それが本物か, what is this? 確認して? I don't even know what that is. Please check whether or not that is real. Check whether or not that is real. Okay. So yeah, that's good to know that you can find out how to use it in more casual conversation if you really try and prompt ChatGPT. And even then, you kind of have to like search for it. Like if I didn't know and I had to read all of this before finding it, that's like a lot. Versus like, you know, having a native speaker just tell you, oh yeah, you can also use it like this. Yeah. So at least ChatGPT can do it, but you sort of have to like know that the other way exists first. I mean, I guess you can assume in Japanese there's a lot of like casual ways of saying things, so maybe always asking ChatGPT is a good idea. But anyways, that's everything that we wanted to review based on previous episodes and just like knowledge that I've gained for the questions that I had during my practice sessions. And I just wanted to give an update for those things, since it's like I don't want to just leave it up in the air, I suppose. Okay, so let's go ahead and do today's kanji. All right, so there were a couple things from the conversations. Yeah, since I'm not streaming, I can go grab my phone. All right, so let's look up a few things from today or previous days. Let's do this one. This one's easy enough. And this one I sort of already know, but I want to just get a full review on it and understand it fully. So atteru, you hear that a lot when you're, you know, learning Japanese or practicing with a native speaker. And this one I already know as well, but I do want to get it broken down. Let's do this one as well. This one's going to be a fun one. These are ones I can already read. So let's add one that I don't know how to read very well about ochitsuite. Oops. Ochitsuita. All right, let's work with these ones. So kaesu, we've got the scooter radical, and then I don't know what this radical is called, and this thing right here. And that's kaesu, meaning to return. Okay. And then we're going to get a breakdown of the radicals right now. Okay, the movement one. And then this right here, han, opposite or against. Okay. This part carries the idea of opposition or reversal, which connects to the meaning of returning something. Interesting. So let's check that out. I'm curious. Got it. Okay. Let's add this one to the list because it's also a pretty commonly used word from my experience when I was in Japanese language school. Not really. Yeah, Japanese language school. We would say it very often. The sensei would always be like, oh, the opposite of this meaning in order to describe what something means. Okay. So that's cool. I'm gaining like an appreciation for like how certain kanji are formed and like learning new things about them. It's quite fun. I'm just gonna write the beginning time of when I started streaming. I think it was 7:43. This way I don't lose track of time too much. Okay, han, opposite or against. Okay, I think I have it now. Just the movement radical with han. I just need to remember how to write this properly. Is there another radical for it? Let's see. I just wrote it right here. Mata, again or right hand. This radical is often associated with repetition. This seems off. Oh wait, I don't know. This by itself. I'm gonna ask Wani Kani. Anti. So cliff and stool. Cliff, I can see the cliff. Yes. And stool. Let's see if they have an explanation of this. Cliff radical appears on the left side of certain kanji, usually conveys a sense of something being underneath or near a cliff. And then we have stool, which is what they just explained as again or right hand. Let's just see if it's consistent. Yeah, it's consistent, which is good. How have I already hit the free plan? Why does it always show this? Okay. I kind of like this way of learning the kanji because like sometimes I'm just learning one kanji and then based on learning this kanji, I learn other kanji because it's a kanji within a kanji essentially. Okay, so a cliff and then a stool. Let's go ahead and read the mnemonic. I kind of like Wani Kani's mnemonics. They're fun. They're changing my mind about mnemonics. Okay. Turns out when you go to this guy and pull off his beard, he's Han Solo, the anti-hero from Star Wars. What is Han doing here? So hidden away. He's obviously hiding from Jabba because he doesn't want to get frozen in carbonite again. That's a very strange mnemonic. I kind of don't really like that mnemonic, to be honest. Okay, Han, so cliff and stool. I think I can just remember that. If we go by the meanings, this is indicating that something is under this, and this indicates again or right hand. I don't know. Either way. If we put it on top of movement, it means to return. Okay. Kaesu. All right, let's move on to the next one. Was the next one tabun? No, it was ateru. They didn't give me... Okay, let's just put this one. Ao or go means to meet, to fit, or to combine. It is used in various contexts, often relating to agreement, fitting together, or combinations. And I believe it's the one that also is in kotae. So kotae is like... Let's see if I can remember kotae. I think it had something like this. Yeah, that looks very wrong, but let's see. Nope, it's correct. I just wrote it really poorly. Okay, but I remember it being in kotae because like kotae is like an answer, and an answer is supposed to like match or fit or something like that. I forgot what these top radicals mean, but that's okay. We have kuchi and we have anzu together. Okay, I'm gonna do a little Wani Kani search as well. Oops, seems like they don't have it. So suit, true radical combination. Seems like they don't have like a composition of this thing. So to match, to suit, to fit, to join. Got it. Okay, that's good enough for me for that one. And let's move on to the next one. Tabun means probably or perhaps. It is used to express uncertainty or degree of probability. There's no radical breakdowns, but We know like this is minute and that this is like oi, like big or a lot. Kind of confused to why them being together forms the meaning of maybe or like probably. Let's look at both of them. Evening, huh? This by itself means evening. I didn't remember that. You. Yeah, I totally forgot that. So you. You got that? You bet. So two evenings is many. Okay. This oi. Then we have bun, fins, and sword. 2 parts. Am I mixing this up? How do you say that is the same thing, right? Yes, it is. So it's part and also minute. How interesting. Fins and sword. Fins by itself means 8. It's interesting. This is actually a radical on its own. The radical is sword, but we're learning Japanese, so you can't name a Japanese sword. That's right. The most common is katana, which happens to be the meaning of this kanji as well. So that's a katana. Katana. Interesting. And with that, it means bun. So the sword cuts something in half. And that is so clever. Like, I really appreciate this, how everything comes together like that for this character. And just a Japanese language system in general. Like, or I mean, like, this was originally Chinese characters, I believe. But some are originally also Japanese characters. If I were to guess, this is probably an original character, but I kind of want to know. I wonder if ChatGPT can tell me. Okay, I understand that Japanese kanji is derivative of Chinese characters, but there are also original Japanese kanji is a original character. Let's find out. Okay, so it is derived from Chinese characters. However, it has a long history of use in both Japanese and Chinese contexts. In Chinese, character means to divide, to understand, or part. While many kanji have their roots in Chinese characters, the way they're read and used can vary in Japanese. Okay, all right. But my question was for this one. Okay, got it. Yeah. So the Chinese person or people who came up with these symbols and ideas, like very brilliant. I like that. Like this one is now, I don't know, one of my favorite kanjis or favorite Chinese characters. It just seems so simple, like a knife or a sword that just cuts something and it means part. Like that just seems so elegant to me. I am a simple person, I suppose, because this is a very, very simple kanji, but like I like it. My ancestors did well. I am part Chinese, so all right. Let's see. Yeah, this whole thing is like one big puzzle. This language system, a lot of it is just like putting the pieces together, the radicals together. And if you know the base parts, then you know some of the kanji already, or some of the you're basically also learning some Chinese at this point. The meaning of Chinese, at least, not the way to say it, but the meaning. And it's quite interesting. I don't know. Like, I don't know why I had so much resistance to learning kanji before. I guess I just like wasn't that interested in it. But now that I am learning it, I'm just like, now that I'm learning it and like doing it willingly. I mean, in Japanese language school, I was doing it willingly as well. But my interest in it wasn't that high. It was more so I just wanted to do conversation. Like speaking and listening were the more important things to me when I was in Japan. But now that I'm like actually learning the writing system and the reading system, it's like, yeah, I'm really developing an appreciation for it, and I'm actually finding it fun. Like that to me is the most surprising part. I thought it would be kind of like a little boring, a little like kind of like, why am I doing this? Why do I have to do this in order to learn the language? But it's actually pretty fun. Let's do wada 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 next. Wadao means to laugh or to smile. So if you know this kanji, or if you don't know it, a quick explanation is it's the equivalent of like saying like ha 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 in English when you text. I don't know if people do that anymore. Some people just do like LOL or something, or I'm not sure what people use these days. I am out of touch with super young people, but either way, the Japanese equivalent is to just do that for ha ha ha, or like wada wada wada. if you want to say it. I say it out loud because I do voice to text all the time. But I think it's very interesting and funny. So sometimes I type that one when someone says something funny in a message. Okay, top radical. Ugh. I don't know about this. Is this right? This might be right. Yeah, even though it looks slightly different, it does look like the bamboo radical. But just to be sure, let's do our usual thing. Okay, so we got bamboo and heaven. Look at this mnemonic. Bamboo heaven is a place for laughing. Bamboo is very jolly plant and they love to laugh. Even after death in bamboo heaven, the bamboo continue to laugh joyfully. Bamboo heaven is truly a place of laughter. That's so weird. Honestly, it just looks like a fun kanji, so that's the way I remember it, as laugh or yeah. Okay. Anyways, let's go down the radical rabbit hole. And looks like that's the end of the hole. So it's just bamboo. Got it. It does look like bamboo a little bit. Let's write it. I remember this being in the N5 book as well. Again, this is one of the kanji that I skipped because I did not start at the beginner level in Japanese language school. But also, again, because I skipped it, I don't know it very well because I didn't know it beforehand. Okay, so this is just like an extremely shortened version. And then heaven, 10. All right, the way I write it compared to the way it's typed looks so different. There we go, that's a little bit better. Wada, ooh, wada, to laugh. We're not even really using this anymore, are we? It's fine. I prefer wanikani anyways. Okay, interesting. This says that it's yo and not 10. Yo. I wonder, yeah, they don't have, or it seems they don't have like a radical for that one. Interesting. Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter too much. It's just my curiosity for breaking it down and also my ability to distinguish it immediately. But honestly, I see that so often, I should be able to distinguish it easily. I just wanted to look at a radical breakdown, I guess. Let's move on. Okay. Ochitsuita. Ochitsuita. Which means to have calmed down. You hear a lot in anime, actually. Ochitsu. I think you hear the command form. What is the command form again? Ochitsuke. 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 Ochiru. To fall. It has the grass radical and the water one as well. Sort of like man. I have a sudden urge to write the man radical from yesterday. And then in there should be ryo, which is both. And it looks like this with yama in the middle, like that. And that's man. And then with this one, it's zoku. Man. Pretty confident that's right, so I'm not going to check it. Let's see. So this one has a similar combination, except with different stuff in the middle. All right, let's break it down. Ochiru, to fall down. Raku. We got flowers, tsunami, and then kiss. That's the kanji for winter, huh? Fuyu. And then kuchi. Found in kanji. I actually want to look up fuyu now. Fuyu has like these extra stuff there too. This radical looks like the evening radical, but has a extra long stroke. Oh, that's true, huh? I didn't even think of it that way. That's because evenings are long in the winter. Winter and then 2 on the bottom. Nice. And then this one has the winter radical plus kuchi right there. And they're calling it kiss, but let's find out if it has any. Actually, I want to know what ChatGPT says about these. That's a common character and is primarily known as a radical rather than a standalone kanji, related to follow or to go. Fire, really? Okay, that's a bit confusing. I'm gonna not really worry about it. Let's just keep going. Kaku means each or every. Kakuko, kakoku, kakuji, kakuchi. Sort of like each, okay. Now what's the original kanji that we were learning? Ochitsuite, so to fall. I don't really know how it really relates, to be honest. A violent tsunami causes flowers to be ripped from the branch of trees and they swirl around and kiss your face gently as they fall. Yeah, interesting. I think the way I prefer to remember it is we have individual water droplets and individual like grass pieces, water falling on grass, something like that, individually. And that is to fall. Ochiru. And then we do know tsuku is to arrive, but let's go ahead and look at it more deeply. Sheep, huh? A sheep that we're looking at from above. I guess I could see it. So it actually means sheep. All right, let's write that one. We are learning a lot of kanji today. I think it's like a flurry of just learning the radicals, which are kanjis of themselves, in themselves. So yeah, sheep radical. Got it. And I don't mind it. It's pretty fun. We already know this one, but let's just write it down. And together, they somehow form tsuku. Oh, this is ki, not our alternative is arrive? Because now I'm confused. Okay, so kiru and tsuku are the same kanji. Wow, I had no idea. I don't know why, but this kind of like blows my mind. Like, I've used both of these words plenty of times, but I had no idea they were the same exact kanji. In a way, like that's kind of like very confusing. It's like, why do they use the same kanji for to wear and to arrive? There are sheep right before your eyes because they just love what you wear. It's a little known fact that sheep are, I don't know how to, fashionistas, and they arrive daily to admire your style. These sheep are so stylish. Okay, well, sure. It's not really fully a sheep. It's just a partial sheep with an extra sort of thing coming out right there instead. So the sheep have 3 lines in them. And it stops there with a little line here. And then that's tsuku or kiru. Visually similar kanji. Yeah. How mysterious. How interesting. This is the first kanji where I just have no idea why it means wear and arrive. I'm going to ask ChatGPT if they can help me out with this one. Why does this kanji mean both wear and arrive? It seems unintuitive. There's a logical connection. Please explain it, ChatGPT. To wear, kiru, in this context, relates to putting something on your body. The idea is that when you wear clothing, you are putting it onto or arriving at your body, hence the connection to the concept of wearing. Here, why does it say chaku? Is that one of the ways of reading it? Yeah, it is. Chaku. More sheep arrive every day to admire the clothes you're wearing. You can use chalk or to keep count. Okay. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, but there have been a lot of mnemonics that aren't as great. I think that one mnemonic from yesterday was just really good, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll give it a shot. But now I'm just like, what? I don't even, yeah. I mean, you can't make every single mnemonic amazing, but that takes a lot of work. But yeah, I think I've decided to go back to not really caring about them and just remembering it. Okay. To arrive, the notion is similar. You arrive at a place, you're reaching or coming to that place, similar to how you come to wear clothing. So it's like the clothing and you are arriving, I suppose. Okay. It's a little bit of a stretch and you have to really think about it differently, but okay. Okay, I feel like we learned so much kanji today, like it was a full-on kanji day, and I'm running out of energy and I still need to get some other stuff done today, so I think I might just end it pretty soon. We're starting to go into kanji that we technically didn't want or didn't initially put down, but I'll learn this one anyway since it is pretty common. So we learned this one earlier because it was part of the other kanji in Kayasu. And then here's this one, measurement or inch. Let's just look it up. Oh, it has writing in it, ji or bun, and then the one for measurement. That one seems kind of, you can sort of see it. It's sort of like a corner and you're like trying to measure the distance between those two things. Somewhat. And then for writing, I always found this one interesting. There's a lid there. Very commonly seen one if you just look at kanji. I believe it is part of kanji. Let's just verify that real quick. Nope, I'm completely wrong. The G is different. I was thinking of this instead. Is this even G? I guess it's just bun. Why do I think of it as G though? Bun, mon, and fumi. Alright, I need to rethink. Yeah, I think I might have mixed 2 kanjis up. Alright, these two. Bound to happen eventually. So this one's bun and the other one is G. Alright, this is G. That's bun sometimes. Okay, we'll try to remember that. Moving along. So together they form this kanji, versus or opposite. So anti and versus together make opposite. Interesting. All right, I'm way too tired right now. I need to get some rest. I know we basically just spent the entire time on kanji, but it's fine. I think this was a good dedicated session for kanji. We'll try to do more stuff next time. I might just do a review next time, and since we've learned a good amount up to this point, I'll see if ChatGPT has the ability to like test me on the kanji that it's already explained to me. Hopefully it can and can access that information. Otherwise, that's going to be pretty annoying. But yeah, I think that's another thing that ChatGPT can be decent at, is just like testing in regards to like things that are not related to particles, because it sucks at particle tests. I'm pretty sure it can do kanji tests as well and vocab tests. So we'll try that tomorrow. I'll write that down. Day 11 test, just so I remember. Review, test, review. So that's for tomorrow. And let's just close off. We are done with today's kanji. It was a lot. But I think this was the first day that I started feeling like I really started appreciating kanji, and I really started like realizing that I enjoy the process of learning it. It really is one big puzzle. And I think it's a puzzle worth a puzzle that's fun at the same time, especially Bun. That was a great kanji, like with the sword or katana into the part. Yeah, it's just brilliant. Okay, so that is gonna be it for today. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.